Hello, folks. Dom Lawson here, your friendly neighbourhood old twat. Um, yes, it's another one of those Iron Sandwich things. I really should review an album at some point. That would be good, wouldn't it? More interesting than me just waffling away about festival lineups. But anyway, is it more interesting? Well, potentially less interesting. Don't know. Haven't really thought it through as usual. Just press the button and go. So today, like the last one, I'm going to be doing a thrilling preview of Sonisphere, which takes place this weekend at Nebworth, the hallowed ground of Nebworth. It's funny, it always makes me laugh because Nebworth has hosted some of the biggest names in rock. You know, Queen have played there and Led Zeppelin and all that. I'm sure there must have been some shit bands that played there as well, though. You know, so let's not get all too carried away with how sacred the place is. It's no better than Donington, let's be honest. But anyway, Sonisphere, right, okay, so a lot of you will probably be going to see Black Sabbath on Friday in London. Good for you. I'm not. I've decided to do the decent thing, do my job properly, and attend the whole Sonisphere Festival. And despite the festival organisers' attempts to make it difficult for everybody by not really putting the stage times up and not having an app, or anything that might actually be helpful, and then being weird online with people on Twitter, which is very strange. Don't let the interns run the Twitter accounts, honestly, that's my advice. Anyway, it looks like it's going to be brilliant. The weather may well be vaguely acceptable, so that's good. Anyway, so what was I going to do? Yes, okay, so I'm going to go through each day of Sonisphere, and I'm not going to go through every band, because that's fucking boring, no one needs to hear that. I'm going to go you can take it as read that people are going to watch the headliners, so I'm not going to bash on about the Prodigy, Iron Maiden or Metallica. That's the main reason a lot of people are going, is to see them, particularly Maiden, obviously, who are the greatest heavy metal band of all time. And those of you that weren't at Glastonbury last week will obviously want to catch Metallica, because apparently there was at least 8 metalheads at Glastonbury last week, and only one of them actually worked for Metal Hammer magazine. Anyway, it was alright, wasn't it? They got away with it. Not sure what all those twats at the back of the stage were doing, but anyway, never mind. Yes, Friday. So Friday, the day when most of you won't be going because you'll be going to see Black Sabbath, Faith No More instead. Obviously, the Prodigy, brilliant. Take as many drugs as you can, kids. Only joking. And Electric Wizard, smoke as much weed as you can. Only joking. Will be fantastic. But I've picked 5 bands that I'm going to go and see if I can. That I heartily recommend to you. Firstly, Demonic Resurrection. They're coming all the way from India, so it would be incredibly rude not to go and see them. If you don't know Demonic... Sorry, I'm just going to have some coffee. If you don't know Demonic Resurrection, they're kind of an epic symphonic black metal band from India. And they're really good. And I just think, we're incredibly snooty about... well, not so much snooty, myopic, really. If bands don't come from America or Europe, we tend to dismiss them, unless they're from Japan, because that's kind of, that's cool. Whereas bands from Asia get ignored by the trendy rock press because they're just not cool enough. But anyway, Demonic Resurrection, well worth going to see. No idea what time any of these bands are on, because the Sonisphere website is rubbish, but anyway. Another one that I thoroughly recommend if you're kind of prog persuasion is go and see Messenger. Now, Messenger have released what I regard as one of the most enjoyable albums of the year so far. And if you're if you're kind of a fan of things like Opeth and Anathema, and other things like that, my brain's gone, sorry, then do go and check them out. There's some awesome hair and facial hair in that band as well, which is well worth going to see. Well, at least I think they've got facial hair. Have any of them got beards? I don't know. One of the members of Messenger has spectacular hair anyway, so it's a bit sideshow Bob, but there's nothing wrong with that. Right, after that, I can't recommend this enough to you. Atari Teenage Riot are playing at Sonisphere. Now, I've never seen Atari Teenage Riot, and I feel terrible for having never seen them, because for me, genuinely one of the most exciting bands of all time. The amount of shit that gets thrown at us that claims to be punk rock, and it just clearly isn't, has nothing to do with punk rock, either musically or on a kind of philosophical, ideological level, is just untrue. But Atari Teenage Riot are probably about as punk rock as it gets. They make a furious racket, and if those of you that listen to any of Alec Empire's other stuff as well, you'll know that his music is just totally uncompromising and fiercely intelligent, and it's like being kind of shot at. It's like running into a hail of bullets, but fun. So, you won't actually die. It's not that bad. But yeah, go and see Atari Teenage Riot. I'm beyond excited about seeing them, and I may even jump up and down a bit. Next one is Anthrax. Anthrax are playing twice over the weekend. The second set will probably be the same set that they always play. But the first set that they're doing on Friday, they're playing Among the Living all the way through. Now, I know there's lots of people who are like, oh, I prefer Anthrax with John Bush. Well, yeah, that's fine. Anthrax with John Bush were great. But everybody knows that Joey Belladonna is the best singer that Anthrax have ever had. That's a fact. And Among the Living is there. I mean, it's one of my two favourite Anthrax albums. I'm not going to tell you what the other one is. But Among the Living, yeah, brilliant. They're going to play it all the way through. And as it has been pointed out on several occasions, to be fair, they'll probably play half of it again in their second set, but there's songs there that I haven't heard them play for a long time. One World, for one, that springs to mind. But yeah, that should be great. And Anthrax always, out of their generation of bands, they've always been the most fun, really, so that should be awesome. And Scott Ian's riffs are huge. Okay, so finally, on Friday, I'm going to see Gary Newman. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, you probably see me occasionally make disparaging comments about Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails. I quite like Nine Inch Nails, really. I'm only mucking about. But I always think whenever I listen to a new Nine Inch Nails record, well, it's all right, but it's not as good as what Gary Newman's doing. And that's and people say, oh, we started ripping Nine Inch Nails off. And it's, well, yeah, maybe he did, but he just does it better. I've been listening to Gary Newman for most of my life, really, and the man's a legend, frankly. Hopefully he'll play some of the old hits, but the new album, is it called Splinters? It's called something like that anyway, is particularly good. I think it's one of the best he's done in a long time. So come along and watch the middle-aged folk jumping up and down to We Are Glass and Cars. That'll be lovely. As always, because I'm a mean-spirited prick, I've picked some bands that I think you ought to avoid on the Friday. Obviously avoid Limp Bizkit. I know you'll all ignore me and go and watch them anyway, but unless you particularly hate women and music, I don't really see any reason to go and watch Fred Durst wobbling around shouting bitch at people again. Obviously avoid Bam Margera's Fuckface Unstoppable or whatever they're called. That is just, oh God. Can't you just ride a bike into a garage door or something instead? And then I just noticed, nothing against them personally, but I was just looking at the poster and I saw the name Yashin, and I'm sure that band had been knocking around for ages, and they were awful when they started. I can't imagine they're any better now. So avoid Yashin as well, unless you're into that whole kind of bedwetter post-hardcore thing. Right, Saturday. It's all about Iron Maiden, isn't it? There's going to be aeroplanes shooting and all kinds of shit going on. And obviously the greatest heavy metal band of all time playing many of the greatest heavy metal songs of all time, including Revelations, which I'm super excited about, and hopefully The Prisoner too. But yes, apart from Maiden, which obviously Saturday's all about. Does that work grammatically? Probably not. Doesn't matter, I'm talking, not writing. Chaz and Dave. Right, now, you've got to go and see Chaz and Dave. I can't think of a single reason why you would want to watch anything else. I don't know who they clash with, but for fuck's sake, go and see Chaz and Dave. I think, again, the trendy rock press are probably like, oh God, oh yes, well, it's for the old farts, oh, I can't see the point, blah, blah, blah. Chaz and Dave are amazing musicians, right? They've been doing this for 45, 50 years. They were session musicians in the 60s. They're fucking legends, these guys. Never mind all the hits, which are brilliant anyway, like Rabbit and Ain't No Pleasing You. Now, obviously, they'll play all that stuff. You never know. They might even do Snooker Loopy. It's unlikely, actually. But the latest album was brilliant. It's just a really good kind of bluesy, R&B kind of, it's just a nice, gentle album that I really, really enjoyed it. And they're just legends. Go and see Chaz and Dave. I can't say, why wouldn't you go and see Chaz and Dave? I don't get it. As far as metal goes, I recommend you go and see Carcass. Obviously, Carcass will rip your face off. Not literally, that would be really unpleasant. Surgical Steel was such a fantastic comeback record, and their catalogue speaks for itself. It's just, they're just one of the greatest metal bands of all time. Tesseract, definitely go and see Tesseract there. They've got another singer. Dan Tompkins is back in the band. That's their 47th singer since January. And it's my turn next week, so luckily I won't be singing for them at Sonisphere, so that's probably a relief to everybody. And go and see Stamping Ground. So many of these bands that are around now, the kind of deathcore and metalcore bands, I think they're all kind of tough guy, we're brutal, blah blah, let's have a party. Rubbish. Go and watch Stamping Ground instead. Apart from the fact they're awesome people, I always loved them. Just properly brutal, like real savage metallic hardcore, but with loads of Slayer thrown in. I can't see, what's not to like, really. If they play Officer Down, I suspect there may be fights breaking out. Go and see my mate Chris. who is playing in his fantastic band Eureka Machines as well. If you like big tunes, amazing harmonies, and a bit of sexy quirkiness, then Eureka Machines are absolutely well worth going to see. They'll be one of the party bands of the weekend, and that's the thing, because they're not a band that get tons of press. They'll probably be they'll be one of those bands that will draw people in as they play. But just go and see them from the beginning, because they're fucking brilliant. What else? New Model Army. I'm going to see New Model Army. I know it sounds like I'm just picking all the old fart bands, but I don't care. Music is music, and if it's good, it's good. Just because a band have been going for 20 years doesn't make them less relevant or less exciting than some new band, frankly. That's an idiotic approach to take. New Model Army, a band that are very close to my heart. I've been listening to them for most of my life again. If they play Green and Grey, I'll probably cry. And the latest album was fantastic as well. It's a really, really strong record. What's it called? Between Dog and Wolf. Just amazing. Really, really good. So go and see them. And obviously, other than Chaz and Dave, highlight of the day will be Baby Metal. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole spiel about why Baby Metal are brilliant, but all I would say, if I can nail it down, you can mix pop and metal together in a variety of ways. On the one end of the spectrum, you can have something as god-fucking awful as Issues, where it's just vomit-inducingly horrific. Or at the other end, you can have something that's honest and blatant about the fact that it's manufactured pop and not pretending to be anything other than it is. It's also Japanese and mental. 3 Japanese schoolgirls singing over thunderous modern metal riffs, with bits of dubstep and God knows what else thrown in. It's just fucking brilliant, and it's going to be a spectacle. They're going to put on a show. They'll probably be miming, but who gives a fuck? I'm going to be drunk and jumping up and down. Love Baby Metal, fantastic. I just hope they're selling T-shirts. Right, Avoid on Saturday. Avoid Dog Eat Dog. Why would anybody go and see Dog Eat Dog at this stage in the proceedings? It doesn't make any sense to me. Just no. I mean, there are some bands from that era that are kind of worth revisiting. They're not one of them. Avoid Frank Turner. He's a really lovely bloke, but I just can't stomach his music. And avoid The Hell, obviously, and about as funny as being kicked in the cock. Right. They've got some good riffs, but, lots of bands have got good riffs. You don't have to stand there listening to tawdry misogyny at the same time. Sunday. So, Sunday. Again, everyone's going to go and see Metallica. That's absolutely understandable. You may figure I've had too much coffee already, but I haven't. So obviously Metallica. Other bands that, from a Metal Hammer perspective, are no-brainers. The Devin Townsend Project. Devin's one of the most wonderful people on the planet, and his band of killer. And I'm not just saying that because I've performed on stage with them. I say performed, I just kind of lumbered about and grunted a bit. And Gojira, again, one of the best live bands on the planet, absolutely staggeringly brilliant every time, and original too. I don't think you can ever stress how much Gojira don't sound like everything else that's going on. You can hear elements of things in their sound, I suppose, but what they do is unique, really. They're a really, really special band that I hope will be around for a very, very long time, making astonishing records. For the old farts like me, Stephen Hill will agree with this one. Curb Dog, well worth going to see Curb Dog. They were not a big thing, but a small thing, very briefly, about 20 years ago. But both their albums were brilliant, and I'm a big fan of Curb Dog. Well worth going to see Raging Speedhorn. It's been a while. I remember once at the Kerrang Awards a long time ago, they were having a fight. Well, not a fight, they were throwing drinks at each other, and one of them threw some lime juice and it went in my eyes, and it was actually quite painful. So thanks for that, guys. But I've got some love for Raging Speedhorn. They didn't have all the greatest songs in the world, but their best songs were brilliant, and John is a diamond. Dripback, go see Dripback. They're going to be the most brutal and demented band of the weekend. Luca is a very, very sexy man as well. Adam's quite sexy too. Very sexy band, Dripback. I hadn't really thought about that before. But yeah, just brutal British metal. They do the kind of the intense, relentless thing better than most bands around at the moment, I think. And when they played a Download the other year, they were just phenomenal. Was it Download? Oh no, Bloodstock. It's too early. Finally, on Sunday, I recommend you go and see the Anti-Nowhere League. It's all very well wanting Metallica to play So What, but go and see Anti-Nowhere League. They'll definitely play So What. And it'll be fucking brilliant. They'll also play I Hate People, and me and my wonderful girlfriend will be singing along with that because we do. What else? I don't know. Go and see. Yeah. Anyway, go and see loads of stuff. There's tons going on at Sonisphere. It's hopefully it won't be pissing down with rain, and there'll be beer on sale. which is obviously a plus. Avoid on Sunday. The only one I've written down is Real Big Fish. I'm not a fan of the ska punk, to be honest. I like ska and I like punk. Put them together, irritating, to be honest. Yeah, thanks for that. It's okay if you're 14 to dance to ska punk, but if you're over 30, I think you need to have a word with yourself about how your life is panning out, to be honest with you. Yeah, jumping up and down seems to be a thing that people are obsessed with. Like somehow, the more you jump up and down, the better it makes things. I don't find that. My beer goes all over the place. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, highlights of the weekend. The 3 bands, one from each day that you definitely have to go and see. Atari Teenage Riot on Friday. Baby Metal on Saturday. And fuck it, Gojira on Sunday. There you go. If you just see those 3 bands and the headliners, you'll have had a fantastic time, and you can thank me for it when you see me at the bar, which you won't because I'll be hiding. Not that you'll be looking for me as such, but you know, I'll probably be in some kind of costume. Like a Downover, I saw a bloke. I saw at least 2 blokes actually dressed as giraffes. Not sure what possesses people to do that. You're at a festival, chill out. You don't have to be wacky all the time, Colin Hunt. Anyway, that's it. That's your lot. That's my Sonisphere previews. Clumsy and badly organised as usual. Yeah, see you in the field. I won't. And yeah, don't forget to drink irresponsibly. Heavy metal, and cheers for watching this drivel. I'm really sorry. It's just awful, isn't it? I think I'll go back to bed. Cheers.